All right, well, we're standing in front of our irrigated dry bean trial, one of them. Dr. Juan Sorno, he's an associate professor in the plant sciences department at NDSU. He is also a dry bean breeder. His work includes development of dry bean varieties for seven different market classes, which within the pinto beans make up over 60% of the beans in North Dakota. He's written several articles that have been published worldwide. So please welcome Dr. Juan Osorno.
Good morning and thanks for coming. Now I'm probably the only thing between you and lunch, so I'll try to be brief. Now it's about endurance, okay? Bear with me. As Jason said, this is the variety trial that we do every year. The Carrington Research Group is the one taking care of this trial. All my job is working on selecting the lines and getting few from the industry and then sending the seed, and then they do all the hard work. We get data, and that's the bulletin that we publish with the Extension Service every year, showing all the variety trials across the entire region. So it's a great tool, not only for you as a grower, but also for me, because it allows me, I call it like the Formula One of dry beans. You know, this is the best of the best. You get to see them side by side, competing each other and see which ones are the best. And of course, one size doesn't fit all. I mean, some varieties do really well here, some others do well in other places. That's what happens always with genetics. We have a combination of different market classes, as Jason said, mostly pintos, navies, and blacks, because that's our main production focus on the region. This is the irrigated trial. We also have a dryland trial, and that's great for comparison. Actually, I think it's the only place in which we do the same trial in both conditions, and that's great for comparison. We can actually start making assessments about drought tolerance and many other things that we don't have a chance to do in all the other locations, which are usually just dryland, and few of them irrigated 100%. Let me go to the varieties really quick. I'll make sure that I tell you which market classes we have here, and then after that we'll probably just open for questions. This time of the year for dry beans is probably not the best to start making any bets on which one is going to be or things like that. That's why the row crop tour he was talking about is much better. This is great for the small grains, but for the full season crops, if you come back in September, you're going to have a much better idea of, and you can tell much more differences among all the varieties. First, we have here a navy called Vista. It's been around for a while. High yield, excellent performance, a little bit late, and now we have better options probably for that. Then next to it, we have a pink bean variety from Michigan State University called Sedona. It's been around for several years. Michigan State just released a new version, or a new pink bean that's supposed to replace Sedona. It's called Rosetta. We didn't have enough seed to put it in this trial, but it's in other trials. So make sure you check the bulletin, and you can find it there later on. Medalist is a navy from a private company called Provita. I think it's probably the navy to beat right now. It's great, high yielding, excellent agronomic package. The canning industry seems to like it, so everybody's quite excited to that. So now this is the guy to beat. That's the one I'm trying to beat right now. Loreto, it's a black bean, also from the same company that does this one. High yielding variety. Just be careful, it might be a little bit late than your usual Eclipse. That's the one that most people use, is over there. Other than that, it's a great black bean variety. Here is our most recent release. Last year we released this small red. We call it Rio Rojo. Anybody knows what Rio Rojo stands for? Red River, there you go. So it wasn't my idea, by the way, because I wasn't pushing, but it's a nice tribute to our beautiful Red River that always get us flooded, right? It's one of the things that I really like about this variety is that probably has the highest levels of resistance to common bacterial blight that I ever seen. And that per se, it's a milestone, because virtually anything we have out there is highly susceptible to common bacterial blight. So now, and you know, to make long story short, there was a lot of process involving even crosses with other alien species in order to get to this. But this is a nice result, and now we're using this also to get that resistance into other market classes like Pintos and Navies and Blacks. T9905 is a Navy from Highland Seeds, high yielding, really good variety. I like it a lot and keeps being one of the strongest from them. Zorro is a black bean, as you can tell by the name, from Michigan State University. Same as Loreto, high yielding, but a little bit late maturity. Excellent seed quality. Canners like it a lot because there's something in black beans called color retention. You can the beans, you open the can a few weeks later, and some of those black beans will actually turn purplish, and then your brine will be all blackish. You don't want that, right? So we always look for color retention in our new varieties and things like that. This one holds color really well. That's one of the reasons why I like it. Here is Eclipse, our flagship. Last statistics I saw about this variety, 78% of the black bean acreage in North Dakota is being grown with this guy. So that tells you about a lot of the impact. What is not to love about it? The whole agronomic package is great. Early maturity, beautiful dry down. Once it's done, it just shoots down everything, drops the leaves, and let you do your work, right? Here is Lariat, probably our #1 Pinto variety. Lariat, it's our Pinto, upright. Everybody probably knows it. High yielding, one of the highest yielding varieties we have out there. Next to it is La Paz. That's probably the other side-by-side competition of Lariat. I would say between those two right there, you have 50% of the total Pinto acreage in the state. Huge impact on those two. Then on the back we have the old North Star. It was a Navy bean released by NDSU in the mid-90s, so it's been around for a while. But we still have growers who like it. There is a few companies who really like the processing features of the variety, so that's why we keep it there. We got some issues with germination, as you can tell. Sinaloa, it's a Pinto bean from Provita, the same company that does La Paz and Loreto. Ensing, it's an AB bean from ADM. It was originally from Canada, but you know they do a lot of contracts for that. It looks like the canners really like that one for the processing. Maverick, the old Maverick also was released in 1997, I think, and it's been around for a while. It was the #1 variety, Pinto variety in North Dakota for many years. And we still have growers who like it and they don't want to switch to any other thing. So we'll keep, as long as there is an interest, we'll keep it there. That's not a problem. Medicine Hat is another Pinto from Seminis, Monsanto. It's an interesting variety, very upright. The seed quality might be a little bit in question, I would say, but overall it's good. Windbreaker, I would say, is probably, along with La Paz and Lariat, is the third most important variety in North Dakota right now. Also from Seminis, Monsanto. I call Windbreaker like a grower-friendly variety. It's a lot easier to manage. It's predictable, so that's why many growers like it. Versus something like La Paz or Lariat, you need a little bit more of management and being more careful. Windbreaker is a little bit easier. Same for Stampede. That's another NDSU variety that I call it grower-friendly. It's predictable and it's easy to grow, and for people who are just starting with dry beans, it's probably, those are two good options right there. Navigator is an Old Navy variety. 8307, another NDSU variety, which actually I'm quite surprised because across all the reps, we have 4 reps in this trial, and that one across the 4 reps looks pretty good. Merlot is a small red from Michigan State, probably the #1 red so far. Hopefully my guy here will take over that. And Avalanche is our most recent Navy release, and I really like also the agronomic package on that one. Super early maturity, and that's something we like sometimes, especially in years like this, in which we couldn't plant in time. It's always good to have early maturity alternatives for your portfolio. So let's say you weren't able to plant, at least you have something that won't yield as much as many others, but it will give you good quality seed and ensure your harvest, right? That's all I have to say about the trial. Any questions about beans.
Are they Roundup ready?
No, we don't have anything that it's anything that we could call GMO on dry beans. We don't have a GMO dry bean. The main reason is because the plant doesn't let you do transformation as easy as corn or soybeans or many others. So it's not like people have not tried, they haven't been successful. There is a case now in Brazil in which they were able to put resistance to a virus. It's a viral disease they have down there. We don't have it here. It's called bean golden mosaic virus. And they use biotechnology to insert the gene that actually blocks the replication of the virus in the plant. They're supposed to have the commercial release 2014. So I'm curious to see how the whole dynamics goes. I know a lot of people have concerns, having GMOs in feed versus food and things like that. So, I mean, it's one of those things that we have to start discussing and see what we want to do as an industry and everything. But as of today, none of this can be called a GMO bean. They're all bred by conventional ways and using some DNA technology, but nothing that I would call GMO.